Hi guys, welcome to our handstand series. So we're going to start with a wrist warm up. We're doing some little hand circles here, just getting those hands all moving, getting the wrists limbered up. Okay, now we're scrunching up some meatballs. So we're scrunching the meat between our fingers. Gross, I know, but it works. Okay, now we're showing off our meatball. So make some circles, make a ball with your hands, and then make some wrist circles. Okay, now it's cooked spaghetti. So we want you to make some noodles with your hands, wave them from one side to the other side, reverse it, go fast and slow with this one. Now we're putting lots of cheese on top. So I want you to shake out some cheese all on top of your spaghetti and meatballs. As much cheese as possible. Shake harder, shake harder, shake harder. Okay, great. Now our fingers and hands are starting to get nice and warm and limber, ready for some pretty fun handstand work. Please feel free to skip ahead at any point in this video. You can jump ahead to the skills that you want to work on. Okay, now we're getting into the wrist stretching. This one is important to do at the beginning of any handstand session. So we're trying to build the flexibility of the wrist and the forearm here. We want to press down really hard on those palms. Then we're going to reverse it. We're going to put the back of our hands down and do the same movement. Be really gentle with this one. It can really hurt. I also like to do the same thing by turning my hands in and rocking from side to side. Then do this on the back of the hands as well. Okay, we're going to get into some shaping and conditioning for those handstands. This is our front support position. We're then going to do a little push up and press our shoulders up as high as we can. So we're going above a regular push up or front support position, and we're getting up into that beautiful angry cat back, trying to really push up the top of our spine, our thoracic, and put the chin on the chest. Okay, we're going to do some shoulder stretches here. I think every teacher loves these twisty ones. Parents, let me know if you love these ones. You get to crack out your spine right before you get started. Okay, now we're going to do a nice little bicep cross over the body. So pull that arm across with your elbow. We all know this one. Now up and over the top, we're going to try and do the tricep stretch here. This one's so effective. We love this one. I use my thumb there to actually push my forearm against my bicep. You can see I'm kind of like closing that chicken wing as tight as I can, and then I'm pressing down as hard as I can. Yay, it's finally handstand time. We are starting at square one. So this is 101 handstand prep. First, we start with bunny hops. This is a tuck bunny. So we're going to tuck those knees in and we're trying to get our heels to kick our bottom. All right, number 2 bunny. It is straddle bunny. This one's so fun. I want you to imagine there's a monster to the left and a monster to the right, and you're kicking them both in the face at the same time. Make sure you keep those arms straight, number 1, and then second goal is knee straight and pointed toes. All right, here comes number 3, the hardest of them all, pike bunny. So we're trying to get both legs to push off, squeeze straight, squeeze them together, and toes pointed, of course. Okay, downward dog. We're then going to move into dog with a sore leg. That's what we call it at Acropals. It's also called donkey and scorpion and all kinds of different things. Okay, so I'm in my dog. My leg is sore. I've got to keep it lifted really nice and high. Push off with the supporting leg, squeeze the knee, point the toe, and keep that top leg straight. Okay, for this one, we're going to need a couch or something solid to pop our legs up on. I'm going to use this little bench, which isn't very solid. It's not ideal for this. Okay, making a tuck shape. So I'm going to put my knees up on the couch and try and work through my shoulders. Lift your shoulders to your ears. They should be basically blocking your hearing when you're doing this if you get it correct. We're now working on some L-shaped leg lifts. So the goal here is to have both legs straight and take this as slow as possible. We don't want to go quickly and tip over. I'm showing a more advanced variation here where we actually take the bottom leg off the couch, but be careful with that one. Once you get the hang of that, you can actually bring that bottom leg all the way up to a full handstand position and then come back onto your couch. Okay, this is a half up handstand, so I'm halfway up. I'm in my downward dog with a sore leg position, and from here I'm pushing off really gently to try and find my point of balance. I find the easiest way to usually get it is in a nice split position. Not fully split, but with legs apart. You see how my heel of my back leg is actually over the top behind my head? That's what's helping me to get up onto my balance point, which is further over than most people expect. It feels almost as if you're about to tip over if you really get up to that full handstand. but we squeeze our tummy and push on our hands really hard to make sure that we don't tip over unless we intend to. Okay, this is the final level 1 skill that we love to see. We're going to do a toe on the wall handstand. So we're putting our toes on the wall, we're facing towards it, we're climbing up to a comfortable handstand position. Put your hands as far away as you like with this one. Just keep your tummy really tight, nice straight body position with no banana or arch in the back. Walking from side to side, and then last, we like to actually walk as close as we can to the wall. But this is getting slightly more advanced, so be careful. This might take a bit of time to develop. Okay, so what we love to do is actually set a timer. See how long you can hold that handstand on the wall. And if you want a really big challenge, start doing those tap-offs. That's where we're going to find how to really truly balance and control that handstand position without tipping off our balance point. So a nice light tip off. We never want to jump or throw our body around. We want to be really small and precise with our movements when we're working on balance. Our goal in level 1 is to hit a 1-minute handstand with toes on the wall. Okay, congratulations, you have completed level 1. All right, on to level 2 skills. This is where we're going to attempt to get our back to the wall. Now, really, when you do this one, you only want your heels touching the wall. We don't actually want our bottom to hit it. That means that our glutes aren't engaged and we're probably going to lose control and flop down. Work on balancing up there and then coming off with control and actually trying to balance, then come down nice and slow. Okay, the next one we're going to need a couch or some solid object that's about shoulder height for. This is the wrong thing for me to be doing it on, it just doesn't work. So you're going to press your shoulders into it and then leave your upper body unsupported so you can work on truly balancing through only your shoulders pressing over your fingertips. This one's really fun. We're going to kick up to a handstand with the side of our body on the wall. You can even just rest your toe on the wall and just really try and get the feel for that balance. Squeeze as tight as you can. Squeeze your tummy, squeeze your bottom, squeeze your knees, point your toes. Woohoo! We've graduated from level 2 to level 3. Keep it up. Okay, now it gets really fun. It's elbow stand time. So look at my arm position here. I want you to really replicate that. It's the safest way to do an elbow stand, we find. Spread your fingers out as wide as you can. You want to give the floor 10. Really push through your hands. Look at your hands if you can. So I'm trying to keep my eyes lifted. The moment you put your chin on your chest, you will fall forward. Now, of course, a great way to practice this one is using that wall. You can put your heels against the wall now that you've mastered your full handstand with heels on the wall. Key things to look for here are pressing through the palms really hard, eyes lifting as high as you can. Whenever we do any work with our legs over the top of our head in an overarch position, you have to counterbalance that by lifting the weight of your head. Your head's pretty heavy, so you see I lift it extra high when I'm doing things like feet to head. As you can see, I'm playing around with my leg positions here. You can do things like kink, double stag, bow and arrow. There's lots of fun options here. Oh, hello, that's my cat. Stay tuned for some fun leg position videos coming up. Okay, for this next one, we're going to need a cushion or something soft because we're going to begin headstands finally. Now, we want to make sure that you've sort of mastered all the skills up until this point because headstands, obviously, we're going to be balancing on our head. It puts a lot of pressure on the neck and we want to make sure that you're strong enough to handle this skill. Okay, I really want you to take note of the hand and head position for this one. So my hands are on the front side of my pillow. I'm going to put my head out into the center of the pillow. We ask that you can see your 10 fingers at all times when performing this skill. The safest way to start is to actually work on balancing your knees on your elbows. Don't try and put your legs in the air until you can balance that fundamental first position. From here, you can push one leg up at a time and then squeeze the tummy, squeeze the bottom really tightly and push on the hands. The weight should be spread evenly between the forehead and the hands. It should never tip onto the back of the head. That means you're going to tip over. And of course, if we do tip over, we want to try and bring the chin to the chest and not leave the head in a big back bendy position. It's really quite precarious for the neck. I want you to be careful with this skill. A great option is to put those heels on the wall. It prevents you from tipping over. So it can be really helpful in performing this skill. Once you've racked up some time, start working on some headstand push-ups. It's very hard. Okay, now we're into the hard stuff. It is press to handstand preparation time. Okay, so what we want to do is try and get our bottom stacked over our shoulders as quickly as possible. So I'm trying to set it up from the beginning in that position. I'm showing a press from the feet here. This is usually the first type of press you're going to get. Whoops, losing a bit of control there. You can tell I'm getting tired from filming this video. Okay, next we're working on that stolder position. So balancing that straddle, or it's also known as a stolder. I like to cheat and kind of use my elbows. So I prop myself up on my elbows by bending them and hooking them behind and rest my legs on top. Okay, here are some straddle rocks. These are fantastic press to handstand conditioning exercises and really something that I need to work on. So you're trying to rock back, then press on your hands, push down really hard and lift your hips in the air. Next up, straddle leg lifts. So do about 8 on each leg is a good thing to aim for. You want to try and really engage those quads and hip flexors and build the strength in them. Then 8 with both legs at the same time. All right, these are straddle rainbow lifts. So you're doing little rainbows up and over the rainbow to bring them in and up and over the rainbow to bring them out. You can do this one leg at a time again. Okay, it's press against the wall. So you want to put your back to the wall. And for this first one, we're actually just jumping our legs out to the side. So think of that straddle bunny. Let your hips sort of hit the wall. And then from there, we want to work on the circular leg movement. So bringing the legs all the way from as wide as you possibly can to that handstand. And then the same exact motion on the way down. You can see I ran out of room here, so I had to kind of do a dodgy one. Something else to focus on is coming down as slowly and smoothly as possible. Okay, next we're getting to the stolder press prep. So we're going from that stolder straddle position up onto our feet. So we're trying to get our hips up. Then from here, we're going to finish off with the toe press. So you're basically doing the full stolder press in a couple of stages. Work on balancing this position at the top and then trying to descend as slowly as you can into that full stolder straddle position. Okay, this is my first time attempting this since lockdown. It is rough. Stolder press. So basically this without losing control at the top ideally, and then coming down very slowly into that full straddle position. It's something I'm going to have to work on. Okay, here comes my personal favorite, a side press. You're just going to bang that leg up as high as you possibly can and then try and do a really slow motion cartwheel that stops in the center. This one's really fun. You can also practice rocking from side to side if you like with this one. And we'll be going over this and more cool variations in our next video. Okay, here is the final one for level 3. We're going to start working on handstand pirouettes. I'm showing here the hand movement for somebody who does a left leg cartwheel. And now for the right leg. So I'm turning my right wrist all the way around and then swinging my hand around. So it's like the wrist turns first. It's like an indicator. It shows you where you want to go. And then the hand does a full 180. Okay, it's time to try this up against the wall. So we want to start with our heels on the wall generally, kick up to the handstand, and then try and keep everything as tight as humanly possible as you go for that 180. It might take more shuffles on the hands here, but ideally it only takes 2 movements for each 180. You can see I'm getting super tired here. Oh no! Yeah, so don't attempt this up against paintings. Lesson learned. And that's it for this video, guys. Congratulations, level 3 is now complete. Stay tuned for much more. There's so much more to learn with our handstand. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Get upside down, and I can't wait to see you again soon.